Here are your Court News Ohio top stories in 5 minutes. A Youngstown man sentenced to die will receive a new trial. The Ohio Supreme Court on December 3rd vacated Willie Herring's death penalty sentence. The justices said Herring's lawyers did not do a complete investigation into Herring's background to determine which mitigating factors they should present to the jury during the penalty phase of his trial. Herring was convicted of killing 3 people while robbing a bar in 1996. The case now returns to the Mahoning County Court of Common Pleas for a new sentencing hearing with a new jury. It will determine whether Herring will receive a death penalty sentence again or life behind bars. The Ohio Supreme Court on December 2nd determined that an increase in property taxes to pay for school improvements was contrary to state law. The Supreme Court ruled that the Indian Hills School Board in suburban Cincinnati did not show that the revenue from the tax increase was needed for its next fiscal year's expenses. The court determined that while the school could use operating funds to pay for permanent improvements, the increased revenue was not clearly required to cover the school district's expenses, a violation of state law.
Among the more than 150 specialized dockets certified by the Ohio Supreme Court are 16 family drug courts, based on the drug court concept that focuses on treatment and rehabilitation, with the parent's substance abuse addressed as the root cause of dependency, neglect, or abuse in the family. But Christine Raphael of the Ohio Supreme Court Specialized Docket Section says not everyone who could benefit from family drug court is using the services.
We know only about 7% of families who are identified as substance dependent who are in the child welfare system get into a family drug court. So we want to address that number and why is that happening and what can we do to increase that number through both looking at existing family drug courts as well as potentially adding new family drug courts.
The Supreme Court Specialized Docket and Children and Family sections are partnering with the Ohio Department of Mental Health and Addiction Services and Ohio Department of Job and Family Services on the Ohio Family Drug Court Statewide Reform Grant. Ohio is one of 5 states to receive a Family Drug Court Statewide System Reform Program grant from the U.S. Department of Justice Office of Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention. The 2-year grant will provide a little more than $309,000 for 2 symposiums, development of future family drug court curriculum, and improvement in data sharing among the courts and treatment partners.
Ohio Government Telecommunications is producing a new series of mini-documentaries about Ohio's 88 county courthouses. The series started airing on December 1st on the Ohio Channel, a public broadcasting station headquartered at the Ohio State House. The documentaries feature each courthouse's unique characteristics and provide a glimpse of the courthouse's history with photos from local historical societies and interviews with judges and chronologists. The long-term project will eventually showcase all county courthouses across the state.
It's not every day that you see in a courtroom balloons, cookies, and lots of people with smiles on their faces, but that's exactly what the day called for in Franklin County Probate Court as 15 children were adopted as part of a National Adoption Day event. Judge Robert Montgomery and his staff of magistrates finalized adoptions made through Franklin County Children's Services for 8 families.
When you take a look at these particular type of adoptions children coming from foster care, it really is very rewarding, because you know that these are children that may have a temporary home, but every child should have a permanent home. They should have a mom, they should have a dad. And to be able to be a part of that, to me, is a tremendous honor.
Rick and Bobby Boone added 4 children, ages 2 to 8, to their family that includes 4 children they adopted 3 years ago.
We love them. You fall in love with them, what are you going to do?
And
you don't want to go back to what they came from, so.
And they need us. They need a home. They need
and we
love.
need them.
Nationwide, the event has helped 50,000 children find permanent homes.
What National Adoption Day is really for is to bring awareness to the need for these foster children to be able to have a family. And I think that's the most important thing.
In an effort to provide equal access to justice for deaf and limited English proficient litigants, the Ohio Supreme Court released an informational brochure so those who go before a judge have the ability to communicate effectively. The brochure, titled Working with Your Interpreter, provides information about a court interpreter's role in the court, tips for using an interpreter, and an interpreter's ethical and professional responsibilities. The brochure will be made available in 12 languages. That's a look at Court News Ohio's top stories. Visit courtnewsohio.gov for the latest headlines on Ohio's courts.